Hey everybody, Anthony Alfredo here, and today we're going to be taking a few laps around Homestead-Miami Speedway in the NASCAR Next Gen car on iRacing to see if the top is faster than the bottom, which lane is actually better to optimize speed, and if you could actually rip the fence on iRacing and make speed doing it. I think I already know the answer to this question given the tire model we currently have and its current state of development. With the way the tire degradation is, it's only going to get worse when you run up top because you're going to be going faster, carrying more roll speed through the center, and more throttle on exit, which is going to wear them quicker rather than when you run the bottom and have a little bit less wheeling it on entry and exit, are patient, and more importantly, just disciplined every lap. That increases the life in your tires. You know, you have more longevity when you do that. It makes you faster at the end of the run. Now, you could run the bottom and save your tires, then move up to the top later in the run. However, I don't think that's ideal either, because if you saved your tires properly while running the bottom, you're going to be faster than the guys ahead of you who are still on the bottom anyways, and you're going to catch them and work your way around them. Whereas if you move to the top to try to make speed or pass them, I think you're just going to chew up the little bit of life you do still have in them. So it's kind of dependent on the length of the run, how many laps you're on your tires, how good of a job you've done saving them. A lot of guys move up there to maybe defend or hold people off. Some guys who save their tires on the bottom might move up there for a lap just to set up a run off the corner, or maybe complete a pass or defend, and they go straight back to the bottom. So maybe just for one corner or for one lap, you kind of work your way around there. So I don't think it's the optimal line yet, but it definitely is an option in iRacing. So we're going to run the bottom for a couple laps, the top for a couple laps at a couple different angles and approaches to see which is actually faster on equal tires. So we're going to pull out around 2 laps each, fresh tires, see what the difference in speed is, and then go from there. Well, for starters, we're going to go out here and run the bottom for 2 laps and see what kind of lap we can put down. The seam used to rule. That was the place you'd carry the most speed, most momentum, a little more banking above it too, so that was part of it, but it helped with tire conservation as well. But now everyone seems to have migrated to that white line on the bottom. It just seems faster. I think part of it has to do with dirty air, because if you do run the seam, the guy behind you has the bottom open to get a little bit of clean air, peek the left front out. And then, of course, if you do run the white line, the guy behind you is stuck following in your wake, or even if he offsets to the right running the seam, that's not optimal. So I'm going to get this lap started. A little bit of a diamond, this setup for some reason. That feels natural to me. Missed the white line, I actually straddled the seam a little bit, but I think that's okay. The diamond feels natural to me because it kind of shoves up the hill, but when you pick up the throttle, it turns back down like this, and you can come back down and get a straight exit. I don't want to push crazy hard like a qualifying lap, but I do want to run a consistent lap, consistent pace, bottom to top. That time I didn't diamond it. We'll see if it's any different for us. We're just going to run 2 laps each run. You can see I already made 2 laps, but I wasn't recording. What's new? Rookie over here. It's a really nice line right there.
33.4.
That was really slow, that second lap. I didn't carry as much speed through 1 and 2 as the first lap. Could already tell you that, especially being lower. But we'll disregard that. We'll just go off that first run. So 33.39, that's what we're shooting for. Almost a 33.40 flat. Try to keep this pace, about 95%, 90% maybe. Now we're going to go run the wall, see what kind of speed's there for 2 laps. Fresher tires, it's not going to be as fast, I don't think. I mean, you can make speed up there because you have fresher tires, you can push harder, but usually don't move up there until the tires wear, because you give up so much distance to run up there. I'm not going to be shifting just for consistency. I'll try that later, see if that makes a difference. Now, given the tips in my last video, you already know how I'm going to approach this. High entry. Aggressive through the middle. Keep it turning on exit. Get over this bump. This car does not like that at all. Got a little loose there. To get out of it, we'll run one more. We'll try this one shifting.
0.708.
That tightens the car up. I could be a lot more aggressive, I can already tell, and it helps with the deceleration into the corner. I'm sure this is going to be faster. As long as I don't mess up down here. It actually felt smoother over the bump as well, just because the back was a little more hunkered down and in the track.
33.4.
49. So picked up a lot. I probably babied a little that first lap working up to it, but I'm sure there was a lot of speed found in the shifting. We'll go back to the bottom this time and shift, since we know that's actually better, at least on the top side. Give it a shot. Way smoother for that. Okay. We're gonna run the bottom. We're gonna downshift. Underdrove the entry tremendously, so that's not gonna be optimal, but we have a second lap. Felt really weird on exit. It was much tighter with that gearing. And then it finally hooked up and kind of snapped on me. Now I can't diamond as well. It doesn't pivot as well on the right rear like it did in fifth gear.
33.
It's definitely faster.
57.
See if this seems any good. This is the old line. Nothing really changed. It's just everyone kind of migrated to that bottom. Oh, that was a bad mess up. I don't really like the way that feels, actually. I think as far as the setup of the car, it likes being below that seam more. That was a 38, and I was extremely sloppy exiting one, so I'm sure that would have been a much faster lap. Okay, for this run, we're going to try entering more shallow into the corner because we'll shave off a lot of distance and we can get in deeper lift later, which iRacing will allow you to do because I don't think blowing through the air bubble is as easy to do on the sim as it is in real life. As I mentioned in the previous video, you do want to enter right against the wall and pack that air on the right side early, both on the sim and real life, but because it's not as easy to blow through that bubble of air, I think you can get away with shortcutting it a little bit, shaving some distance off the track, getting in deeper. Plus that downshift's going to help you decel and slow the car down. I feel like this is going to be faster for sure. It's super unnatural to me to do that, but it's kind of how you would run Darlington. Darlington, you have to do that because of the shape of the corner in turns 3 and 4, but here, not so much. So we're driving a little straighter and lower, washing up to it, and then leaning on that bubble of air.
33.595.
Now we'll go back to right on it. That feels way better to me. It feels more natural, more realistic. Just not sure if it's faster or not. No! Blew it. The little tap in the center when I crossed that bump wasn't a big deal. That was pretty normal, but I don't know if anyone's going to count that as wall riding. It's about the same time, so it really wasn't that much better, I don't think. I guess in conclusion, you can get away with doing either on here. Without doing a longer run with each driving style, I'm not really sure which is better long run. I would say neither. you're going to want to run the bottom and stay down there by being disciplined and saving those tires throughout the course of a run. You have the option to go up there to build momentum, maybe catch somebody, set up a run, or hold someone off, but it's definitely not what you're going to want to do for the duration of a run or the whole race. I think on a short run you can get away with it or something like that, but it's going to be circumstantial for sure. These are those last 2 laps where we entered more shallow and washed up to the wall and leaned on that air bubble, and then the second lap we packed it in there right against it higher up. See, kind of shaved off some distance on the entry, washed up, and then held it there. I don't think you can get away with that as much in real life. It's also just not as fast. It's simply not optimal. But I think on iRacing it is ideal because you're giving up so much to guys running the bottom in distance. So you want to try to maintain as much as you can on entry, and then of course you're going to be gaining on the exit as well as just through the center because you're building momentum for the entire straightaway. This is much higher. We're right on it. Stay on it. The lap times were very, very similar, but it's still about 2/10 off of the bottom. So as you can see right here, a 35 and a 38 versus a 59 and then a 50 with this little bounce off the wall and maybe a little wall ride action here. I don't know if you want to count that, but that's realistic. That was just a tap. I didn't get glued in it. I didn't stay against it and ride. I just kind of floating the right side against it. So I don't think that's anything crazy, really. I think that the time is pretty accurate, but it's definitely not faster. It's just going to vary on different situations and what you need to set yourself up for. Well, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment on what kind of content you want to see next, and any other videos you may like to see me produce. Thank you all for the support as always. Until next time, I'll see you all later. Bye.